For many of you who have been following my adventures in Mexico with my stolen purse and my passport being gone and me going through everything that it took to replace my passport, you'll know at this point my passport is blank. There were no stamps in it whatsoever that proved that I had been allowed into Mexico or how long I had been allowed to stay for. My original passport had a 180-day stamp. And to legally stay in Mexico, I had to leave and re-enter with a fresh new stamp in my passport. And after some research, Canada was way too expensive, as was the US. The US was kind of funny because it had you flying all over the place before you actually got into any of the towns or cities in the US. And so what came up eventually was that Costa Rica was the best option. It was affordable. They had affordable flights. It was a safe destination. And I was able to find a 2-night stay at a peaceful Airbnb. But even the airport had some surprises. Hi, I'm Debbie. Welcome to Writing Life's Next Chapter. It's a channel about changing direction, sometimes by choice, but not always, and navigating midlife resets with grit, with grace, and a little humor. And throughout this story, I learned a lot about resilience and how important it is to have resilience even when you're past 60. If you're here, I hope you subscribe. And if you've missed the backstory about my stolen purse and the passport saga, you might want to check out my earlier videos. I'll leave a link in the end, I guess at the end of this video, so you can go and find them. And you'll see that today we pick up where things continued to get complicated. Now, they were complicated before, but they just continued to get complicated. There was all this testing that I guess I was going through for my resilience. This is the story of my border run to Costa Rica and how I got my new visa and found a little peace at the end of a stressful journey. My flight was set. Guadalajara, which was about an hour away from where I was at, an hour and a half maybe to the airport. Then from Guadalajara to Mexico City, and then from Mexico City to San Jose, Costa Rica. I had about 4 hours between my flight that would take me to from Guadalajara going to Mexico City. And I thought it was plenty of time. As soon as I landed in Mexico City, I confirmed my gate. This is a habit that I have. I'll go find the gate where I'm supposed to be to board the plane, and then I know exactly where I have to be at such and such a time. And there just happened to be an attendant behind the desk there that told me, yes, I was in the right place. And then when I talked to her about leaving Mexico, she said that I would need to go to the immigration kiosk to get an exit stamp for my passport. This kiosk was difficult to find. And when I got there, it was unattended. A small group of us were standing around waiting, and I kept glancing at the clock, calculating how long the line would take once a lineup actually even existed. And when a staff member finally arrived, I let everyone go ahead of me. You see, I was nervous. I had no entry stamp, no visa. I had overstayed. Would I be fined for overstaying? Would I be deported because there was no proof I was supposed to be in Mexico? Would I even be allowed to leave? But the woman who helped me was calm, and she was kind, and she spoke English. And when I explained that my purse had been stolen along with my passport, she didn't ask for any evidence. She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened," as she stamped my new passport. "You're good to go." No fine, no questions, just grace. Relieved, I headed back to the gate. I was calm. I had time, or so I thought. With time to relax, I found a sit-down restaurant on my way back to the boarding gate. I had a great lunch, and I read a bit of my book that I was carrying with me. And when I left the restaurant, I still had more than 2 hours before the flight. Arriving at the gate that I had confirmed earlier, I sat down and I watched the flights board. Eventually, people lined up at the gate where I was supposed to be, I thought, and I joined them. But when my turn came and I handed the agent my ticket, he looked at me and said, "Oh, you're at the wrong gate. This flight is going to Paris." Paris? France? I was stunned. It was the gate that I had confirmed just a few hours ago. I asked where my flight to Costa Rica was. Another employee checked the logs and told me it had been moved at the far end of the terminal. A new gate number. And it was boarding now. So I ran. I sprinted as fast as I could with my luggage across the terminal of one of the largest airports in the world. I was dodging travelers who were dragging their luggage, weaving around chairs and tables in cafes, and weaving around luggage carts. And then there were the people that were just wandering around killing time in the airport. I had to weave around them too. And all the time I had to scan the gate numbers so I could find my correct gate. Out of breath, I finally reached the new gate. Someone was still at the desk. I ran up and recounted my story of the switched gates, and between gasps, she looked at me gently. She said, "I am so sorry," she said. "The plane is already on the runway." What? Already on the runway? I had missed my flight. The airline employee apologized for the gate change and explained to me how she could help. She handed me a voucher for the next flight, which was not until 8 a.m. the next morning. I thanked her and went in the direction of a kiosk she said would exchange it for a plane ticket. But the kiosk was closed, and it wouldn't reopen until 6 a.m. It was only 9 p.m. So now I was stuck overnight, alone, at the Mexico City airport, a massive, mostly empty by now, international airport. I walked up and down the terminal. I knew my surroundings mattered, so I ended up picking a seat with clear sight of security, and I sat upright with my bag between my knees. I dozed. I moved again. I tried again. And the night dragged on. Every noise made me look around. I caught sleep in small, broken pieces. Eventually, a small crowd gathered, a family with kids, some students, and a few other stranded travelers. By 4 a.m., I saw the Costa Rica flight come up on the board. No gate number yet, though. I sat by the kiosk. Finally, at 6 a.m., I joined the queue and exchanged my voucher for a new ticket and made my way once again to the very same gate I started at the day before. This time I boarded without issue. The flight was smooth. I even slept a bit. I arrived in Costa Rica, passed through customs easily, and grabbed a taxi to make my way to the Airbnb. The Airbnb was everything I'd hoped for. It was quiet. It was beautiful, sheltered in the trees and nestled near a creek with birds singing. After my nap, my host arranged to take me into town for a traditional Costa Rican dinner, and it was delicious. I soaked in the calm. After all of this, I needed it. The next morning, I had breakfast outside on the patio, and I was served plates of fresh fruit, mostly grown on the property, aromatic coffee, Costa Rica, remember, and bird songs. I took a hike. It was a short stay, just one night there instead of two, but it gave me everything I needed: quiet, clarity, and a place to exhale. Going back, I noticed the Costa Rican airport was clean and small and beautiful. It had these beautiful bird sculptures, the tropical birds, very colorful throughout the airport. I boarded my flight back and returned to Mexico City. I went through customs, and this time everything went smoothly. They stamped my new passport, gave me another 6-month visa, another 180 days, and that was it. I was legal again, no longer undocumented. I was home. Sometimes the messiest journeys that we have are the ones that give you your footing again. Sometimes life throws us into chaos so that we can reclaim our peace. If you've ever felt out of place, out of options, or out of breath, just know this: you are not alone. There are many people experiencing the same out of breathness that you are. Leave a comment if you've ever had a travel moment go sideways, or if you've walked through a season of uncertainty. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video if it resonated with you. You see, we are all writing life's next chapter, one unexpected page at a time.